I'm Bruce Buchanan along with Gary Green, and there's the referee for tonight's game, Bob Hall, 32 years old from Penticton, BC, in his third season. He'll be joined by Gord Brossiker and Will Norris. In goal tonight for the Edmonton Oilers, Grant Fuhr, 22 years old. He is 2-4-2 career against the Islanders with a 4.34 average. And for the Islanders, making his second straight start against the Oilers, Kelly Rudy, 24 years old, born in Edmonton, wants to play well tonight. He's won 3 in a row. Gary, the Oilers have their lines back together that the Islanders saw in last year's Stanley Cup playoffs.
3 of those lines together anyway. When you look at Krushelnyski, of course, he is a newcomer, along with Gretzky and Curry, but I think that means a lot.
Here's Bob Nystrom, the 13-year veteran of the Islanders. He was checked by Fogelman as the first period's underway. LaFontaine out against Gretzky. Janssen and Dineen on defense for the Islanders as the Oilers make an early change. Gord Dineen, a left wing pass for Nystrom. Fogelman picks it up at his own line. He flips it high to Jari Kurri, and the puck goes out of play.
You heard Al Arbour at the start of the game mention that it's been difficult for him to get his team playing well consistently because of the injury factor. When you look at the injury factor right now in tonight's game, they're missing Pearson, Langevin, Gillies, Gilbert, Bobby Bourne, Brent Sutter, and Matt Talene. 7 players that are out. 6 of those you got to consider to be pretty key players. So as I had stated in our opening, if the Oilers play well tonight, yes, they should win because they're facing a depleted lineup.
Trottier, Keller, and Sutter for the Islanders. Gretzky, Curry, and Krushelnyski for the Oilers as Gretzky rolls it into Rudy. And Ken Morrow, who's back in the lineup. That should help the Islanders. He's a real pillar on defense for the New York club. All Coffey for the Oilers. He's watched by Trottier, gets it to Gretzky at his own line. Buddy breaking down the right side. Winds up with a slap shot and a glove save by Rudy. And he'll hang on as Mike Krushelnyski was going for the front of the net. Krushelnyski and Dwayne Sutter having an exchange. In fact, Krushelnyski landed a punch against Sutter.
That might mean that Krushelnyski is in the game early tonight. He has to play aggressively, and being put back on that line with Gretzky and Curry, I think that he is once again getting that opportunity that he so badly wanted. And of course, who wouldn't want to play with this man here, Wayne Gretzky? A lot of questions out here in the East as to whether or not Wayne Gretzky is hurting. I know a number of clubs that question whether or not he has got a bad groin that is hurting him.
Well, Gretzky comes into tonight's hockey game with a 21-game point-scoring streak, 44 points, but he hasn't been the dominant player the last few weeks, but he can be. So a couple of minor penalties, and the teams will play 5-a-side. Now here's a man that is struggling, Bryan Trottier, with only 53 points this season. The Dennis Potvin back to Trottier on the left side, and he's offside.
Trottier has only scored 1 goal in the last 15 games, and after the Ranger game this past weekend, he said, in fact, in an interview that he has to have a talk with himself because he knows that the Islanders' success, a lot of it depends on himself, and especially with Brent Sutter out of the lineup, down that middle ice area, this man here has to lead this team.
Well, before Gretzky came to prominence, Bryan Trottier won the Art Ross Trophy and the Hart Trophy in 1979. Trottier on the right side to Mike Bossy. Jari Kurri chasing his right-wing record of 69 goals tonight. There's another pass, and Bossy this time was offside.
What a career this man has had. And this man, you look at, first of all, Bossy and then Potvin. Potvin, the leader back in the blue line. When you get an opportunity to see him with the puck in the opposition's end zone, he always gets that puck on the net somehow. He keeps the shot low, doesn't worry about a big wind-up, but is oh so effective with control of the puck.
Potvin, a 3-time winner of the Norris Trophy. Don Jackson back behind his net, leads it for Mark Messier, who may be the best Oiler forward as of late. He speeds across the line against Dineen, goes right around him. His poke check by Rudy as Mark Messier made a nice rush. Here's John Pinelli. To Roger Kortko, the former Saskatoon junior, is bumped by Jackson. Pinelli tried to play it back to the point, and Anderson comes out with Messier. Here's Anderson, a good move on Dineen, and then he's checked at the last moment. 1:03 in the minor penalties. Teams are 5-a-side. Some good skating room out there. Kortko to Pinelli at center. He's already set an Islander record for left wingers with 96 points this season. An outstanding year for John Tonelli. Thomas Johnson gets it to Roger Courtco. Curry forechecking for the Oilers. Puck is dumped to center, and Paul Coffey has it in his own zone. 17:48 remaining first period. There is no score. Here's Coffey. Hit by Morrow, shoots, and a good save by Kelly Rudy as Paul Coffey showed good speed. The Oilers, Coffey and Messier with a couple of chances, good chances early in this hockey game. Trottier to Bossy. Pass went behind him. Huddy gulps it off the boards to Gretzky. 20 seconds in the minor penalty. Chorus of boos for Wayne Gretzky. His pass was intercepted by Bossy. Islanders have a 2-on-1. Bossy with Trottier. Good pack checking by Curry. Here's Ken Morrow. Shoots. And that's knocked down by Curry in front. Here's Gretzky with room down the left side against Boudelier. He checks Boudelier. Still after the puck, but had his stick tied up by Boudelier. The Ari Curry penalty coming up to the Islanders as Trottier steals it. And the Oilers will go on the power play. Live from Long Island, this is your Molson Hockey Telecast.
Smooth Molson Golden now comes in this nice green bottle with a handy twist cap. Well, that's all we wanted to say in this commercial, so now we present tap dancing.
Boudelier gets a penalty for holding. 2:58 was the time. You see him in the penalty box, and you will now see why he got that holding penalty. Holding none other than Wayne Gretzky.
Well, the Oilers go on the power play, their first power play chance of the night. They come in rated third in the NHL. Correction, they're second at 24.4%. Gretzky's on it with Curry, Coffey, Krushelnyski, and Huddy. Ari Curry with the puck along the board. Centers it away right to Rudy. Here's Huddy trying to jam it in. And Rudy covered up on the short side. Thomas Johnson flipped it ahead for Trottier, and he knocked it to center. Paul Coffey for the Oilers. He's checked by Johnson. Now Coffey has it again with Gretzky and Krushelnyski. Coffey gets away from Kaller to Gretzky in front, and he banned on the shot. Good opportunity there for Wayne Gretzky. Anders Kaller, the 32-year-old Swedish veteran, leaves it for Johnson. Back to Gordy Lane with 1:20 in the penalty to Paul Boudelier. Curry to Paul Coffey with Gretzky and Krushelnyski. Here's Krushelnyski going into the corner. He and Lane collide. Lane goes down, but he ends up on top of the puck.
Gord Lane has been utilized mostly as a seventh defenseman, and the Islanders chose to go with 7 defensemen tonight. You can see Lane here colliding with Krushelnyski. Lane ends up down, but he also ends up on top of the puck, getting a stoppage of play and a face-off in the Islanders' end zone.
Islanders are first in the NHL at killing penalties. We thought that would be a key matchup tonight. Second best power play against the best penalty killing unit.
Those specialty teams are so important when you're gearing up for playoffs, and of course in playoffs they mean even more important ingredient to your success.
Mark Napier now on the ice with Messier and Anderson, Gregg and Lowe at the point. Here's Anderson, took a slack from Dineen but maintains control. Messier behind the net, Napier in front. Randy Gregg to Glenn Anderson, the shot kicked out by Rudy, who's looked sharp in the early going for the Islanders.
I'm sure Rudy, a native of Edmonton, is really up for this game tonight. He wants to see a lot of playoff action, and of course everyone is speculating that he will see much more than any goaltender other than Billy Smith has seen in the past.
Mark Messier stops with the puck along the boards. Then Napier, Messier for the front of the net. Comes back to Randy Gregg at the point. He's watched by Tonelli. Slides it in front. Here's Napier. He got turned the wrong way. Now rolls it in front. Turning is Messier, but Napier shoots on the short side, and Rudy had an easy save.
Islanders had excellent coverage in front of Rudy. They were protecting him, not giving the Oilers much of an opportunity to shoot from a good position. Napier did not have much room at all. You can see the Oilers positioned 3 men down the middle. Here's Napier with possession of the puck. But look, where is he going to go to? Good coverage in front of the net. He tried to slide it across to Messier, who lost it in his feet. He just did not have much of an angle to shoot at Rudy.
Good start for the Oilers. They've outshot the Islanders 7-0. 17 seconds remaining in the penalty to Boudelier, and that man right there, Kelly Rudy, has been a key early in this hockey game for New York. Krushelnyski will take the face-off against Trottier to Rudy's left. Krushelnyski winning the draw, and Trottier, who is upended, and it's Charlie Huddy. Sends it across on the other side. It's knocked down by Bossy neatly. He's with Trottier, 2-on-1. The pass for Trottier, and it was broken up by Huddy. Backhand shot, and that's kicked away by Fuhrer off Brian Trottier. Charlie Huddy with Gretzky. Islanders are back at full strength. Still no score, with just over 5 minutes gone first period. Bob Nystrom with Bossy. Bossy winding up, now shoots it. It hit Coffey. Bossy has it again in the corner. Trying to center it. Now Bossy looking for Potvin, cruising in. Shoots, scores!
We had no sooner talked about the way that Potvin can control the puck and how he always shoots low. He indeed shot low on this one, putting it right through Grant Fuhrer's legs. He outmuscled Gretzky for the puck. Potvin and Gretzky fighting for that loose puck. Potvin got his body in front of Gretzky and then just took a wrist shot right through the pads of Fuhrer.
Potvin's 15th of the season for the Islanders, and they take a 1-0 lead. Mike Bossy draws an assist, along with Bob Nystrom. So the Islanders lead it 1-0 after the Oilers got off to a great start but couldn't beat Kelly Rudy. Deneen for LaFontaine. Went off his stick to Fogle, and he plays it off the board for Pat Hughes. He's out there with Hunter and McClellan as Hunter shoots it in for the Oilers. Rudy leaving it for Deneen behind the net. Off the boards for Nystrom. He missed it. Puck goes all the way to Fuhrer, and he steers it to Kevin Lowe. Down the boards for Pat Hughes. Now to McClellan. He was poke-checked by Thomas Janssen, who's playing some good hockey for New York. Hughes is slammed by Bob Nystrom. Vogelin trying to force a face-off, and does, right down by the timekeeper's bench. Dennis Potvin has scored for the Islanders. They lead it 1-0.
Oh, let's call it a night.
Ooh, I forgot to get something for breakfast.
Don't worry, IGA is still open.
Now IGA stores are open longer to serve you better.
Hey, look, it's Andy Moog.
For the convenience of shopping when you want without sacrificing quality or price, shop IGA, where longer hours are just another way to say you come first.
Hey, Andy.
It runs in the family.
I'm Bruce Buchanan with Gary Green and Tim Spellacy from the Nassau County Coliseum on Long Island. It's the Islanders 1 and the Oilers 0. Dennis Potvin with his 15th goal of the season for New York. Trottier to Didick, who shoots it in. He and Jackson got sticks up. Puck rolling inside the Islanders zone, and Potvin's back to get it. Napier forechecking for the Oilers. He's on a fourth line tonight with former Islander Billy Carroll and Dave Semenko. Don Jackson back in his own zone to get it for the Oilers, and it's icing Islanders.
I think when you talk to Glenn Sather, and I did before the game, that he is a little noticeably upset about the fact that of the criticism once again on his hockey club, and I think he's gotten used to that. I think being around the NHL cities as much as I have been, Bruce, well, forget about that. Well, we've got a fight going on right in front of Glenn Sather and his bench.
Don Jackson and Gerald Didick, they had exchanged high sticks just inside the Oilers zone, and Jackson and Didick are going at it. Pretty good scrap.
We can't tell you what started that. At least not right now, we can't. But everything seemed to be calm until all of a sudden they were going to the benches, and that's when it started.
They are cars engineered to challenge Buick Century and Old Sierra, but for hundreds of dollars less. Dodge 600, Plymouth Caravel. You can't beat them with comfort for a family of 6 and luxury equipment with 5-year or 80,000 kilometer protection with the option of turbo power. Dodge 600, Plymouth Caravelle. You can't beat them.
Chrysler leads the way.
The time of the penalty, 6:35.
Jackson and Diddick are getting not only 5-minute majors, but also 10-minute misconduct. So they are being penalized heavily. This is 13:25. Jackson is going to the dressing room. In fact, not enough time on the scoreboard left in this first period to warrant Jackson staying in the box.
That was a pretty good fight between Diddick and Jackson. Diddick, another Islander player that was born in Edmonton. And of course, he's a rookie, youngest player on the team at 19. He handled himself pretty well against a tough customer in Don Jackson.
A couple of heavyweights there going at it.
Face off to the right of Rudy. Islanders lead it 1-0. Ryan Trottier to Thomas Janssen with 9 points in his last 9 games. Now to Alan Kerr. He lost possession to Paul Coffey. To Billy Carroll. He shoots it inside the Islander zone. Rudy stops it for Gord Dineen. Now for Dale Henry, big 205-pounder out of Saskatoon. And Coffey has it to Charlie Huddy. This pass was knocked down by Alan Kerr. Napier rink wide for Semenko. Dineen has it at center. There's a good collision between Semenko and Dineen. Brian Trottier drops it for Janssen. Islanders are offside.
I don't think Semenko and Dineen's collision was on purpose by any means. I think that Semenko may have had his head down and just run into Dineen. Offside on the play. We'll get a chance to look at that collision again, and you can see Dineen with the puck. Well, I guess that Semenko did have his head up. In fact, got his left arm out and pushed Dineen down. Both of them going down with the collision.
Oilers starting a 5-game road trip tonight. They'll be in Boston Thursday. Fogelin with Kevin Lowe on defense. Messier, Anderson, and Lindstrom the forward line. Lindstrom is stopped by Gordy Lane, who likes to throw his weight around. Anderson for the Oilers flips it up the boards, and Lane has it at his own line across the Potvin. Now to Bossy. Return pass to Potvin. To Mike Bossy. Came into tonight's hockey game with 55 goals, trying to reach that 60-goal plateau again is Mike Bossy. Potvin. Starting out for the Islanders with Bossy and Pinelli. Pinelli takes the drop pass. He's checked. And here's Kevin Lowe with Messier. They're 2-on-1. Messier with the puck. Shoots. Scores.
Kelly Rudy a little surprised after that puck went in. Messier scores. Good play, though, way back at Edmonton's blue line by Kevin Lowe. He stood up in the play, knocked it down. Here it is, right here. He takes the puck off of John Pinelli. He leads the 2-on-1 attack. Good pass over to Messier. Now Messier, right here, realizing the 2-on-1, uses Gordy Lane as the in-between man and Kevin Lowe as the decoy. He has lots of time. Look at Messier. He's got his head up. As he comes around, he sees how much room Rudy is giving him and goes for the spot.
Messier's 21st of the season from Kevin Lowe at the 8-minute mark. The game is tied at 1. Mark Messier's been hot. Now has 8 goals in his last 10 games. And Kelly Rudy is having his mask adjusted, it appears.
I don't know whether he could not see Messier easily. It seemed from the angle that Messier was at, he would have to almost pick a fly out of a net in order to score on Rudy. He seemed to have had the angle cut down, but obviously not well enough.
Gretzky, Curry, and Krushelnyski for the Oilers. It's Trottier with Kaller and Dwayne Sutter for the New York Islanders. Of course, Brent Sutter, who's having such a fine season, is out of the lineup with a shoulder injury. Dwayne has picked up the slack. He's got a 6-game goal streak going. He's checked by Paul Coffey. Oilers standing up well at the line. Curry to Krushelnyski. Back for Curry. Gretzky for the front of the net. Krushelnyski trying to knock down the high pass. Morrow played him nicely. And Anders Kaller takes over. He turns away from Yari Curry, who was dumped by Morrow. Trottier for the Islanders. On the right side to Dwayne Sutter. Back to Trottier. The shot. Off here as Morrow is cruising in. He's trying to pick it up along the boards for the Islanders. Trottier has it. In front for Morrow. And that's steered aside by Grant Fuhr. Krushelnyski into the corner, trying to feed it up the boards to Curry. Puck came loose in front, and Gretzky breaks out with Curry. Now Coffey to Gretzky. Couple of neat moves on Boudelier. Back to Mike Krushelnyski, moving in, shoots, and Rudy got a piece of that one. Oilers have had some good shots in the early going. They've outshot them 8-3.
Can't get in much better position than Krushelnyski was just in when he took that shot.
Ken Morrow for the Islanders. He had trouble against Gretzky, but the puck slid to Boudelier. He's with LaFontaine and Flatley. LaFontaine in front of Flatley, pokes it towards the net, and an excellent save by Grant here as he split across. Kevin McClellan with Pat Hughes. McClellan trying to split the defense. Deneen has it for the Islanders. Ahead for Nystrom. He and Dave Hunter mix it up. Flatley for New York. Turns against Kevin Lowe to LaFontaine. Shoots, and it went over top of the net. Flatley takes a check from Kevin Lowe, and Hunter leaves it for McClellan. Nearing the midway mark, first period, it's a 1-all tie as Deneen slams Hunter into the boards. Some good checking going on all of a sudden. LaFontaine ties it up, along with McClellan. You're watching the Oilers live on ITV.
Something before dinner, sir.
I'd like half a bottle of Golden.
A half bottle, sir?
Of Molson Golden.
Howard, you won't believe this, but there's some weirdo over there who wants a half bottle of Golden. And this gentleman would like the other half. Sir, would you like the top half or the bottom half?
You're smooth, son. Smooth as golden.
Well, there's an important game in the Adams division tonight. The Buffalo Sabres have opened up a 1-0 lead on Quebec. The goal by John Tucker. Dale Henry to Alan Kerr. He spun around. Trottier after the puck. Demenko pushes him off it. Carroll. Gordy Lane keeps it in for New York. Falls, but still has it. Pretty good body checking going on out there. Trottier steals it in front. Kerr was spun around. Scores! Dale Henry.
His goal tonight, a very important one at this time. You can see him picking up the loose puck. The Oilers were going to be called on a penalty. Referee Bob Hall had signaled a penalty being called. Henry just walking into the slot, picking up that loose rebound. That is his second goal in the NHL. He scored one previously when he was up for a 12-game stint back in December of this past season.
Brian Trottier with some good work behind the net to set him up. The Islanders have a 2-1 lead at 10:22 of this first period.
The assist to number 10, Alan Kerr.
Kerr and Trottier draw the assists on the goal by Dale Henry.
Henry's second of the year from Kerr and Trottier.
Kelly Rudy perhaps has something in his eye.
Right after that goal was scored, he went right over to the bench. He is still having some problems.
Paul Coffey to Charlie Huddy. Return pass to Huddy, now to Anderson. He's with Lindstrom and Messier as Lindstrom shoots it in. Ken Morrow for New York. Takes a good check from Messier, and Morrow didn't take kindly to that. Roger Portko on the right side for Bossy. Shoots! Good save by Fuhrer as Bossy cut right around Willie Lindstrom. Anderson to Messier. Now to Anderson. Long shot off the blocker of Rudy. Anderson centers it for Lindstrom. That's steered away by Rudy to Pinelli. Now to Portko. Portko slides it into the corner. Charlie Huddy for the Oilers. To Messier, and he just dumps it out. 8:50 remaining first period. The Islanders lead it 2-1. Paul Boudelier, former first-round pick of the Islanders, to Bossy. Back to Roger Portko. Portko turning in the corner. Charlie Huddy took him against the board. Trying to move it now and does. To Krushelnyski with Coffey and Gretzky. Here's Coffey. Going wide on Johnson. Centers it, and Gretzky couldn't get a stick on it. Wayne Sutter to Roger Portko. His backhand pass was knocked down by Coffey. To Gretzky at center. Gretzky Took a check from Dwayne Sutter. Coffey hit Keller trying to clear it in. Now it's Trottier to Dwayne Sutter. No penalties. Referee Hall rules it was a dive. Krushelnyski for the Oilers. Backhand pass out at center to Gretzky. He handled that one nicely. Against Dineen. Here's Gretzky trying to shoot. Dineen taking the man well centered. And Curry overskated the puck. Trottier for the Islanders to Anders Keller. Back to Trottier. Now to Dwayne Sutter. He's checked by Curry. Trottier following up. But it's dumped out by Krushelnyski. Thomas Johnson to Trottier to Dineen. He was going the wrong way. Dineen again for New York. 3 Oilers waiting for him at the line. He just shoots it into the corner. Trottier from a bad angle. And he hit the side of the post. Curry for the Oilers to Gretzky. Now to Dave Hunter. Oilers in the process of making changes. Here's Hunter down the left boards. Got away from Plotly to Gretzky. Rolling inside the Islanders zone. Icing was waved off. Hunter takes Potvin out of the play. They battle for it in the corner. Bob Nystrom for the Islanders. Born in Stockholm, Sweden, and here's a fight in front as Nystrom knocks McClellan down, and it's McClellan and Gordy Lane.
I don't think Willie Norris and George Bostic are going to jump in between and break this one up. They're going to let them go at it. They danced around there for quite a while. Finally, they've decided to start to throw them. Krushelnyski really was at a disadvantage a little earlier, just before that fight got started, because Nystrom came by and pulled the feet right out from underneath of him.
Pair of 24s go toe-to-toe. Kevin McClellan of the Oilers and Gordy Lane of the Islanders. Second fight of the period.
Sport Check is back into bikes, hundreds of bikes, and starting Friday for 3 days only, bikes by the truckload go on sale. A huge special purchase of convertible bikes for boys or girls, regularly $99.98, $59.97. Save $50 on girls 3-speed, just $89.97. The Deluxe Bianchi Torino men's 12-speed, save $50 at $249.97. And Sport Check spring bike tune-up only $29.98. Starts Friday for 3 days only. Check Thursday's Journal.
Kevin McClellan, Islanders penalty number 24.
Kevin McClellan and Gord Lane draw penalties.
Each for fighting, plus 10-minute misconduct penalties.
Well, Bob Hall handing out a lot of those 10-minute misconduct penalties. Here's how it started. Now watch when Nystrom comes by. Look at him take the legs right out from Krushelnyski. That's not playing pool. He saw that Lane was going to end up in a fight with him. And really put Krushelnyski at a disadvantage. But Lane, give Gordy Lane credit, he did not jump on him right at that point in time. Or I should say Kevin McClellan, he waited, in fact, for him to get back up on his feet, and then McClellan could go at it.
Dennis Potvin got the explanation from Bob Hall. Now Pat Hughes is in there for the Oilers. I don't think they can figure out why Hall is handing out misconduct penalties along with the fighting majors.
That's a new one to me, Bruce, because we see lots of 5-minute majors in this league, but not a lot of 10-minute misconduct handed out with them. Well, that's 2 sets of them tonight.
Here's Paul Coffey. In front to Hunter. His shot didn't get through. He tries it again. It hit Potvin. Nystrom failed to clear it. Gregg for Pat Hughes. Takes the shot. Tipped out. Gretzky after the rebound. And he couldn't get a shot on net. Now it's back to Gregg at the point, and it came out between the 2-point men. Paul Coffey playing with Gregg because Jackson is out of the lineup for the Oilers with that misconduct. He'll be back in the second period. Here's Gretzky. Spinning away from Potvin to Coffey. He pokes it in front. Loose puck. And Rudy clears it to LaFontaine. Now to Patrick Plotly, member of last year's Canadian Olympic team. Pat Hughes to Mark Messier. He has the goal for the Oilers. He's with Dave Hunter. Hunter to Lowe, looking for Messier in front. And it's gulped away by Rudy to Boudelier. Islanders clear the puck right to Grant Deere. Glenn Anderson gathering speed. So Lindstrom near center. He shoots it in for the Oilers. Here's Messier racing in, and Rudy beat him to it. Lindstrom pokes it into the corner. Anderson in front. Puck comes right out in front. Trottier there to Dale Henry. Alan Kerr shooting it into the corner. Here's out to play it down the boards for Messier. He and Boudelier got sticks up. Scores! Trottier as Grant Kerr looks shaky.
When Trottier gets this puck, he shoots right from along the boards. Just a flat shot. I think that it hit an Oilers back of his pad, possibly Fogelitz, and then kind of careened off of Fuhr's glove. You can see Fuhr did have a chance to grab that puck with his glove. Just went up and over. Trottier getting the goal, and I'm sure he feels good about that one, regardless of whether it may be considered to be a bit of a fluke. They have not been coming easily for Brian Trottier.
Well, Grant Kerr is mad at himself. The Islanders have a 3-1 lead. The Oilers, the shot's much closer now. Oilers about shot the Islanders 9-8. Mark Messier for Glenn Anderson. Boudelier keeps it in for the Islanders. His shot goes around the boards for Courteau. He and Messier battle for it. Puck went to Kevin Lowe to Lindstrom with Anderson. Glenn Anderson. Back for Lowe, and Benelli has it for New York. Play whistle down on the delayed offside.
27th of the year from Boudelier at 14-24.
Trottier's 27th goal of the season, and as Bruce had indicated earlier in this first period, that is the worst season ever, goals-wise, for Brian Trottier at this point in time. Trottier has been a consistent 31 to 50 goal scorer. Last year he tallied 40, but a long ways from it right now.
Charlie heading to Paul Coffey. 4:55 remaining first period. The Islanders have a 3-1 lead as the Oilers look for their first ever regular season win at Nassau County Coliseum. Paul Coffey's shot goes wide. Gord Dineen for New York to Tonelli. Krushelnyski kept it in for Gretzky. Here's Krushelnyski again, hit Johnson. Krushelnyski along the boards, skates away from Tonelli. Courteau goes down. Good strength by Krushelnyski. Now to Gretzky behind the net. To Curry. He gets turned the wrong way. Back behind the net for Gretzky. He battles for it against Dineen. Krushelnyski has it. To Gretzky in the corner looking for Curry, who was all alone in front, but the puck didn't get through to him. Paul Coffey at the point. His shot. That's picked out by Rudy as Gretzky was dumped to the side of the net. Tonelli can't clear it. Yes, he did, as the puck came out over the blue line. Pot Van Henry and Trottier for the Islanders. Mark Messier has scored for the Oilers.
Take a look at Western Pontiac Buick GMC and the 1985 Fiero GT. Cool, sporty, ready for excitement. But wait, here's an important message. Western Pontiac Buick GMC announces a special factory shipment of Fiero GTs with low 9.9% financing. Hurry, get them while they're hot. Fiero GT, only at Western Pontiac Buick GMC, Highway 16 West, part of the West Edmonton Auto Dealers Association.
4:06 left first period. It's 3-1 Islanders. Ken Morrow around the boards for Caller to Brian Trottier. Caller near center. Now to Boudelier. Back to Caller. He's with Trottier and Dwayne Sutter. Caller takes it in across the line. Sutter can't get away from Semenko, and it's Fogelin for the Oilers. Up the boards, Trottier tracks it down for the Islanders. He goes to the ice against Kevin Lowe. Caller back to Ken Morrow. His shot and a stick save by Fuhr and a souvenir for the crowd. Here's Semenko and Dwayne Sutter behind the net.
I think Trottier has got a penalty coming up for holding or hooking on Kevin Lowe along the far boards. Trottier doing some pushing with Semenko right now, but I think that the Oilers are being penalized. Trottier should stay out of it.
Now Big Dave Semenko to the penalty box, and the Islanders will go on the power play.
Number 27, Dave Semenko, 2 minutes, roughing.
Semenko gets it for roughing. I thought for sure along the far boards, along the hash marks, that Kevin Lowe was going to end up being penalized against Trottier, but it is Semenko going to the penalty box. Let's watch it right here. Just before that started, well, here you can see Semenko behind the bench with Sutter, so it was not Lowe But Lowe had pulled Trottier down and was holding him pretty good, so the Oilers may be fortunate to get away right here with just one penalty instead of two.
Islanders power play third in the NHL, 24.1%. The Oilers have 23, or make that 24 short-handed goals. And they're ninth. There's a shot centered. It's Trottier banging away at it. And somehow Fogelin tipped it out of the net.
Trottier having a pretty good night so far. That puck he had to himself may just have worked. Fuhr and Lowe doing a heck of a job keeping that puck out of the net. Right off of the faceoff, you can see that the puck was in the legs of Trottier, and there was when the most dangerous spot occurred. Now there's Trottier, who was banging away at it. Fuhr was way back in the net. Kevin Lowe comes crawling in to help out.
Then his Potvin knocks Gretzky down. Mike Bossy shoots, scores!
Now this guy can really shoot a puck, and you will see how hard right here. But Grant Fuhr lets another one go right between his legs, and Bruce, I'd be pretty tempted right now if I was Glenn Sather to pull Fuhr out of the net. 4 goals in this first period, and a couple of them have been bad goals. I just don't think that he really looks sharp. I don't know how much longer I'd go.
Well, Andy Moog is dressed tonight for the Oilers, and it'll be interesting to see if Glenn Sather puts him in the nets to start the second. Tonelli's shot, and that's blocked by Lowe. Morrow hits Lowe. He pokes it ahead for Glenn Anderson. Bossy from Potvin at 16:44, and it's 4-1 New York. Willie Lindstrom to Messier. He couldn't get the pass through, and Bossy sends Morrow away. Now on the right side to John Tonelli. One-on-one against Paul Coffey. Coffey plays the man. It's still centered by Tonelli, and Messier has it. He has the only Oiler goal tonight. To Glenn Anderson. Back in front for Coffey, and Flatley clears it to the corner. John Tonelli for New York. Now to Boudelier. He's watched by Lindstrom. Islanders making changes. Ken Morrow. To Pat LaFontaine, the 3rd overall pick in 1983. Back to Flatley. Nystrom was dumped. Flatley's shot is stopped by Grant Fuhr. The Islanders coming to life. LaFontaine to Potvin. Behind the net, Huddy is there for the Oilers. Trying to force a face-off against Nystrom. Kicks it free. Now to Glenn Anderson. He was checked by LaFontaine for Gretzky near center, and it hopped over his stick. Gord Dineen loses it to Gretzky, and then Dineen took a shot at number 99.
Pat Flatley has had a tough time as of late. The rugged, aggressive winger started off the season so well when he was playing with Greg Gilbert on the left side and Pat LaFontaine at the middle. He has lost Greg Gilbert, and LaFontaine was out a fair amount. He has to play a hitting game. That's what he does best. Pat Flatley, a good young Islander that I think has got all the characteristics of a John Tonelli.
Had a look at Andy Moog. You may see him later as Coffey flats one just wide. Randy Gray behind the net for Gretzky, who's centered for Hughes. That's Coffey at center. Remember, Kevin McClellan serving a 10-minute misconduct. That's why Gretzky centering Hughes and Hunter, and a penalty to the Islanders as Hughes was upended. Now Nystrom takes a shot at Dave Hunter.
I'll tell you, Bruce, this Islander team came ready to play tonight. Lots of intensity, and they're ready to fight their way to a win if they have to. Nystrom and Hunter going at it. It didn't take much to spark that one along the boards. Nystrom just collided with Hunter, and that seemed to be all that was necessary to get the two going. Bruce, when the Islanders played in Madison Square Garden the other night against the Rangers, there was a few fights in that game as well. And assistant coach Brian Kilray told me this morning that he thought it really did their team a lot of good. It pulled them together. They started sticking up for each other. And it seems as though they're carrying that right into tonight's hockey game here against Edmonton. Let's take a look here as we see how the original penalty, the 2-minute minor for tripping, came about. And then, of course, the fight started shortly after that occurrence.
LaFontaine will get a minor penalty, and now here's Tim Spellison.
Okay, Bruce, coming up in tonight's first intermission, we'll have our special junior coaches poll, an indication of just who might be the top selections at the NHL's draft coming up in June. That report following the first period. Right now, back to Bruce Buchanan and Gary Green.
And there's Dennis Potvin along with Bob Hall, the referee, discussing things. Of course, Nystrom and Hunter have gone to their respective dressing rooms.
See whether they're consistent and hand out misconducts along with those majors. They have done that in the 2 previous bouts that occurred here in this first period of play.
Well, there's Al Arbour, who started the season with a winning percentage in the NHL at .612%. It has not been a great season for the Islanders as far as their record goes. In fact, it's the second worst record they've had since winning the Stanley Cup.
5 minutes for fighting. Islanders penalty. Number 16, Pat LaFontaine.
LaFontaine with the original minor for tripping.
Number 23, Bob Nystrom. 2 minutes roughing and 5 minutes fighting.
So a couple of minor penalties to the Islanders, and the Oilers will have a 2-man advantage.
29. That's Hunter of the Oilers.
As Nystrom draws an extra minor penalty.
Islanders 2 tripping. Nystrom of the Islanders 2 roughing and 5 fighting. All at 18-29.
LaFontaine, and there's Bob Hall, the man who has handed out 2 minor penalties to the Islanders. So a good chance for the Oilers to get back in it. They really haven't played a bad first period. Grant Fuhr has not been too sharp, and that's what's hurt them. They're down by 3.
This will give them an excellent opportunity to get right back into it. And if your team can ever score in the last minutes of a hockey game, then of course that helps the momentum tremendously going into the second period. And also means a big difference in that dressing room in between periods. Guys can look at the next period positively rather than negatively. I just wonder, Bruce, as to whether or not Glenn Sather did not pull Grant Fuhr because of the fact that Moog, with those jammed knees that he's had, would be cold coming in and not a very good situation for Andy Moog.
Well, Al Arbour is giving referee Bob Hall the evil eye. But Hall's not going to venture over to the Islanders players bench, staying right where he is. Parked off to the left of Kelly Rudy. So the Oilers with a 2-man advantage. They need a couple of goals to get back in it. Mention the Islanders' record. They're 9 games above 500 this season. Paul Coffey across to Charlie Huddy. Passes too high. Now to Curry in the corner. Krushelnyski's in front. Gretzky off the side of the net. Curry winding up the shot. And a stick save by Rudy. Krushelnyski back to Curry. Oilers a 2-man advantage. Now to Paul Coffey. He waits. Now shoots. Scores!
That's when your power play really helps, and when you've got a good one, it helps the most when you need it the most. Watch this shot by Coffey. He fakes the trigger, then winds up, lets it go. Beats Rudy pretty cleanly. Now, did it touch someone in front of the net? You can see Gretzky parked off to the side, but he is not about to receive the pass. Instead, Coffey winds up with a bullet of a shot, lets it go.
Well, Coffey gets credit for it. His 29th at 18:55, a power play goal. Krushelnyski doing some good screening in front, and it's 4-2. A lot of action in this first period. I don't think we expected such a high scoring affair tonight.
Final minute.
Less than a minute to play first period. It's still 125 in the minor penalty to Bob Nystrom. Krushelnyski rink wide to Gretzky. Oilers are still on the power play. Charlie Huddy feeds it into the corner for Krushelnyski. Krushelnyski battling for it. Gretzky with the loose puck. He's poke checked by Ken Morrow. Krushelnyski picks it up behind the net. Took a high stick from Boudelier, but still has it. Morrow breaks the play up, and John Tonelli turns with it in his own zone for New York. 26 seconds left in the first period. 52 seconds in the minor penalty to Nystrom. Curry with Gretzky and Krushelnyski. Here's Gretzky. Waiting in the corner. Takes the shot, and it hits the side of the net and bounces out of play.
Only 12 seconds remaining in this first period of play. And the faceoff coming outside the blue, but doesn't give the Oilers much of a chance to set a play up. They still have 41 seconds remaining on that Islander penalty, and as a result, they will start the second period with a power play.
Krushelnyski and Curry getting the assist on the goal by Paul Coffey. 12 seconds remaining in the first period, and it's 4-2 Islanders. Kevin Lowe shoots it in wide. Rudy to Dineen. He can't slap it out. Anderson turns, shoots, gloved by Rudy, and he hangs on. Now time runs out in the first period of play. The score after one period is the Islanders 4 and the Oilers 2.
And now the home hardware summary. In the first period, Dennis Potvin made it 1-0. Mark Messier tied it up. Then Dale Henry, Brian Trottier, and Mike Bossy scoring to make it 4-1 Islanders. Paul Coffey with a late goal to make the score 4-2. The Islanders out shooting the Oilers 11-10. I should say the shots on goal were even, 11 apiece in the first period. And Bruce and Gary, Grant Fuhr starting again the second period. Is that the indication?
Yes, it is. Grant Fuhr will stay in the nets. Tim Spellacy, 29 seconds left in the penalty to Bob Nystrom. The Oilers scored a goal on the power play to kind of get back in it late in that first period, and they'd love to score another one here, Gary.
Well, that they would, Bruce, but when you look at Grant Fuhr right here, he was very upset with himself after those two bad goals, and so you've got to think right now that he is going to make a comeback for this team. We had a number of penalties in that first period, as the penalty box will show. 3 players from each team in the box, and 3 fighting majors.
McClellan, Hunter, and Jackson for the Oilers. Dwayne Sutter, Bob Nystrom, and Gerald Diddick for the New York Islanders, but all will return shortly. Dennis Potvin to Gord Dineen as the second period is underway. Islanders lead it 4-2. Paul Coffey in his own zone. Across to Yari Curry, looking for his 69th goal tonight, to tie Mike Bossy's right-wing record. Shot goes in wide of the net, high off the glass, and Potvin, the New York Islanders captain. Ahead for Keller. Krushelnyski to Wayne Gretzky with Yari Curry. Here's Gretzky faking the shot, dropped it for Curry, and Keller saw that coming. Paul Coffey to Mike Krushelnyski. He slaps it inside the Islander zone, and Dennis Potvin has it. Skates away from Gretzky. To Dineen. Curry trying to keep it in. Potvin intercepted the Oilers. Almost had a break there. Potvin shot. And that went wide. Wayne Sutter out of the penalty box for the Islanders. Now to Keller. Behind the net. Looking for Trottier in front. He overskated it. And it's Charlie Huddy to Yari Curry. To Paul Coffey with Gretzky on the left side. Coffey was checked by Dwayne Sutter. Trottier gets away from Curry. Anderson with Messier. Anderson shoots. Saved by Rudy. And the puck ends up underneath Glenn Anderson. Live from Long Island, this is your Molson Hockey Telecast.
No. I like you should play more like Molson Gold.
Smooth, Mike.
Smooth, huh? That's Molson Gold. Wow. Molson Smooth. Grazie.
Ken Morrow gets a holding penalty for the Islanders. 1:13 was the time. And here you will see how Morrow did, in fact, get that penalty. He hauled down Glenn Anderson. The puck ends up being covered up by Rudy.
Messier, Anderson, Napier, Lowe, and Gregg on this Oiler power play. Kevin Lowe to Glenn Anderson. Napier's in front of the net. Here's Messier off the side. Split under his stick. He's tied up by Dineen. Napier for the Oilers. Blocked by Dineen and Bossy. Now to Messier. For Anderson in front. And that was broken up by Potvin. Mark Messier turns away from Bossy and Potvin. Back to Lowe at the point. His shot. He was looking for the deflection. Messier came in from behind. And an alert save by Kelly Rudy.
Rudy's main assets are his quickness, his tremendous reflexes. That really showed on that last shot by Messier. That puck came off the backboards and Messier just let it go.
1:31 in the penalty to Ken Morrow. Well, it was nice to hear Ken Morrow in that first intermission. Says he's feeling pretty good. And there was some major concern about that knee injury of his. Here's Kevin Lowe. In behind the net for Napier. Skates away from Potvin. Anderson in front. Messier side of the net. Gregg at the point with Lowe. Here's Napier. Fakes the shot. The Messier side of the net. Kelly Rudy knocked down by Glenn Anderson in the net. Came off its post. Now we have Potvin and Anderson talking to one another. Rudy is shaken up.
Well, surprised that Rudy went down so hard. I didn't really think Glenn Anderson hit him that hard. He just seemed to lean into him. We're going to get a chance to look at that. Maybe my eyes deceived me, but watch Anderson in front of the net. He's being covered here by Thomas Johnsson. In fact, well, he is shoved by Johnsson, but it's not that great of a shove. It was the angle that he hit Kelly Rudy at, knocked the goalpost off, and seems to have bruised his shoulder.
Well, Glenn Anderson was pushed into him, as you said. It wasn't really Anderson's fault. Rudy getting to his feet now, and appears he'll be all right.
Thomas Johnsson not really helping out his goaltender by any means. Anderson was not in a dangerous scoring position, did not have possession of the puck. So for Johnsson to push him into his goaltender didn't make an awful lot of sense.
Oilers on the power play, trailing 4-2. And Gretzky is now on the ice with Anderson and Messier. Gretzky held off the score sheet. He needs just 3 assists to break his own assist record in a season of 125.
Now Arbor doing some pacing behind the bench. His team, the best penalty-killing team in the NHL, as we've mentioned, 82.9% overall in the NHL this season. Very key factor, and it has been for a long time for the Islanders. That's their specialty team.
Messier winning the draw, came back between Huddy and Coffey. That's Huddy behind his net. Here's Mark Messier starting out. Portko and Pinelli up front for the Islanders with Potvin and Johnsson on defense. Wayne Gretzky at the Islander line. Back to Charlie Huddy. Out of Paul Coffey. 55 seconds in the penalty to Ken Morrow. Anderson kicks it behind the net for Gretzky. Bill Waite. Johnsson watching Messier in front. Gretzky trying to center it. He got it back. Here's Gretzky. Back to Charlie Huddy. He'll move in. Across to Paul Coffey. The shot and a glove save by Kelly Rudy.
Good save by Rudy. An even better shot by Coffey. Coffey has really been blistering those pucks towards Rudy in tonight's game. There you can see Rudy going down doing the splits and then coming up with the big glove save. Everybody wants to see these two teams play tonight from both sides of the border. There you can see George Schultz, who's the United States Secretary of State, and with him is Alan Gottlieb, who is the Canadian ambassador to the United States.
So they're enjoying the action tonight. It's been a pretty good hockey game. 30 seconds in the penalty to Morrow as Coffey goes back to get it. Coffey to Anderson with Gretzky. Anderson takes it into the corner now behind the Islander net. Gets away from Dineen. Back to Charlie Huddy. To Anderson. He moves in. In front, Gretzky takes it off his skate. They score! Mark Messier.
Glenn Anderson has to be given a lot of credit for setting up this goal. Now watch Anderson. He has good possession of the puck, makes a nice move on Trottier, then on Potvin, gets that puck over to Gretzky. And Gretzky was able to somehow come up with possession of that puck and feed it across to Messier. There you can see that Gretzky just got the puck across to Messier, who wasted no time in hammering that puck home. The Oilers right back in this game.
Gretzky and Anderson with assists on the power play goal by Mark Messier, his 22nd of the season, and second of the game, and it's 4-3 as the Oilers try and fight back. Here's Gretzky to Yari. Curry shoots, and he fired it wide. That could have been his 69th of the year. Laughlin shooting it in for New York. Racing in is Henry. He has a goal for the Islanders. LaFontaine to Boudelier. Back in the corner for Henry. Vogelin trying to golf it down the boards. LaFontaine steals it flatly. His shot goes just wide as LaFontaine looks for the deflection. Flatly side of the net. And Yari Curry brings it out for the Oilers. He's with Gretzky and Krushelnyski. Drop pass to Gretzky. Hand on the shot and is knocked down by Henry. Gretzky gets to his feet quickly. A good move on LaFontaine. Shoots, scores!
To have the power of offense. That's exactly what these Oilers have. Watch Gretzky. Now watch LaFontaine. He may be a good young player in this league, but he's no match for Wayne Gretzky when it comes to trying to check him. Gretzky just eluded LaFontaine and then wound up with that blistering drive right from the top of the circle. Blew it right by Rudy.
Gretzky's 67th of the season from Yari Curry at 3:48, and it's a 4-all tie. 43 seconds apart, those goals by Messier and Gretzky. Now here's Anderson after the puck. Ian Deneen fight for it. Messier behind the net. Lindstrom going in front. Anderson went down, and it's Mike Bossy for the Islanders. He got away from Lindstrom to Thomas Janssen. He rolls it into the corner. Tonelli gives chase against Randy Gregg. Lindstrom and Bossy have sticked up. Here's Kortko in the corner. Anderson to Willie Lindstrom off his stick, and Janssen has it. Turns away from Lindstrom. He was upended, and Willie Lindstrom is about to get a penalty. Glenn Sather doesn't believe it. He has words for referee Bob Hall, but the Islanders will go on the power play.
To reach full yield potential, don't wait to use a 2 to 5 leaf stage herbicide, because while you're waiting, wild oats are reducing your yield by stealing moisture and nutrients. Use Avidex BW herbicide instead. Get early pre-emergent control of wild oats. Look, flushes of wild oats controlled underground before they could rob yield. This spring, reach for full yield potential with Avidex BW, the first choice in wild oat control.
Willie Lindstrom getting a 2-minute stripping penalty. 4:30 was the time. And here you will see him take Thomas Johnson's feet right out from underneath of him. And as a result, go directly to the penalty box.
Islander power play. Trottier with Bossy and Tonelli, along with Dennis Potvin and Paul Boudelier. A 4-all tie as the Oilers have scored 2 goals 43 seconds apart in this second period. Trottier on the right side for Bossy. Low beats him to it and shoots it to center. It caught the linesman, George Brossiker, and he's in some difficulty right now. Here's Dennis Potvin for the Islanders. Hit Dave Hunter. Hunter and Hughes have been doing a good job killing penalties as of late. Bossy to John Tonelli to Potvin, the shot! And the low drive. Fuhr got a piece of that one, and Hughes plays it off the boards and out.
Once again, that blistering shot of Potvin's right along the ice.
The Islander captain to center. He shoots it in. 1:17 in the penalty to Lindstrom. Trottier behind the net for Tonelli. Rolls in front. Here's Bossy after it. Tonelli to Bossy. Hit Yari Curry. Now Tonelli in the corner. Spins away from Vogelin. Bossy at the side of the net looking for Trottier in the slot. Back of the point for Potvin. And it hopped right over his stick. 4-all tie, the Oilers and the Islanders. 51 seconds in the penalty to Willie Lindstrom. Here's Paul Boudelier. Stopped in the corner. Charlie Huddy trying to push him off the puck, tying up for a face-off. Finally goes loose to Tonelli. To Trottier behind the net. Bossy cruising in. Trottier, a good move on Coffey. Trying to jam it in. Trottier falls, and it's Coffey off the boards and out.
Boudelier on that last rush up the ice showed great ability to carry the puck right into the opposition's end zone. He can really wheel with it.
Wayne Sutter on the left side to Trottier. In front for Caller. Pass too far ahead. He picks it up in the corner. 13 seconds in the penalty to Lindstrom. Anders Caller to Thomas Janssen. Across to Deneen. Popped off a stick, and Anderson could have a breakaway. No, Janssen gets back. Messier is trailing. Here's Messier in front to Anderson. And he couldn't get the backhand towards the net. Dwayne Sutter for New York. To Thomas Johnson. Now to Trottier. Too far ahead. Coffey back to get it. Oilers are back at full strength. Coffey goes down heavily behind the net. And a penalty to the New York Islanders as Paul Coffey went down behind the net.
Caller's going to get a cross-checking penalty, I believe. And boy, it's a wonder Coffey's getting up. Watch him. He's going after that puck, and here is where Caller delivers the cross-check, knocked Coffey off his feet, crashing down on the ice.
Caller signed as a free agent by the Islanders in 1979. Played in Sweden, of course. Had only 9 goals last year for New York. And as far as this season goes, he has 10, so he's got to beat by 1.
One thing that I find interesting, Bruce, right now is when you look at the bench of the Islanders, Al Arbour sending out his penalty-killing units one more time, is the fact that the Oilers came out into this second period, and boy, were they flying. They fought back for Grant Fuhr, and I think that's really an important factor, is that I am quite sure that Glenn Sather said to his team in between periods, look, guys, Grant may have made a couple mistakes out there, but we've all made a lot of them in the last couple of weeks. Just let's fight back for him. I'm going to keep him in the net. Now you get this game evened up.
The Oilers did play a pretty good first period, and yet we're down a couple of goals. Paul Coffey to Charlie Huddy. Right now they're in a tie, and they're on the power play. They've been dangerous tonight on it. Rudy stops it behind the net. Gretzky in the corner with it. Back to Paul Coffey. He takes the shot. It hit Rudy high. Gretzky a shot. And a save on the short side by Rudy. Here's Gretzky again. Back to Coffey at the point. Krushelnyski battling in front with Boudelier. Coffey shoots. Good save by Kelly Rudy. And Flatley brings it out with Portko. Oilers are getting some good shots on Rudy.
My, oh my, I don't think I would want to play net against Paul Coffey when he is shooting the way that he's been shooting tonight. Just some blistering shots. They're high, they're low, they're all over the place. Rudy doesn't know where they're coming from next.
Charlie Huddy to Curry, now to Paul Coffey with Krushelnyski and Gretzky. 1:05 in the penalty. Coffey waiting to set something up. Across to Huddy. Now to Yari Curry, return pass to Huddy. To Curry, Krushelnyski in front. Gretzky at the side of the net. Here's Curry, watched by Portko. Sends it across for Gretzky, and Boudelier gulps it out for New York. Paul Coffey to Glenn Anderson. And the Oilers' Messier was offside.
I like the way that Glenn Anderson has played in this game so far tonight. He is showing his speed and control of the puck. And if the Oilers are going to get out of this slump that they have been in the last couple of weeks, this man has to do a lot more than he was doing. He is so capable. I'll tell you, the opposition really are concerned about the speed of this man because he can just fly down those boards, and he has showed us tonight that he can control that puck and set up a goal, and that he did. Here's that save by Rudy we had talked about. He just got a piece of it. That was one of those pucks that was just too hot to handle, but he kept it out of the net.
Anderson came into tonight's game with 12 points in his last 10. Grant Fuhr. Trottier takes a shot from a bad angle as he intercepted the Fuhr pass. 22 seconds and the penalty to Caller. Glenn Anderson to Wayne Gretzky. Has a goal and an assist in this second period to Anderson. Now to Messier. He was poke checked. John Tonelli can't clear it. Dineen will try his luck. He was checked by Messier, and Potvin off the boards to Trottier to Tonelli. One-on-one against Lower. Potvin coming up on the play. Potvin to Tonelli. She scores!
To give up two-on-one situations against any club, and especially not the Islanders. It's just Potvin and Tonelli and Kevin Lowe. Glenn Anderson getting back, but too late. By this time, the pass had already been delivered over. Watch Potvin. He takes a look. Lowe goes down. Really committed himself way too soon. Tonelli just slammed it home.
What a season John Tonelli is having, his 40th of the year. Time of the goal, 8:45, and what a play Potvin made to come up on it. And the Islanders have the lead again, 5-4. Kevin Lowe in flatly, Dave Hunter has it.
Number 19, Brian
Play is whistled down on the
Time of the
outside.
goal, 8:35. That's Tonelli's 40th of the year.
So the Islanders, John Tonelli has scored, and the Islanders lead by 1.
North America's got to get back on track and start making things work again. At Chrysler, we're showing how with the revolutionary new Dodge Caravan and Plymouth Voyager. The others have followed with their copies, but only Magic Wagon has front-wheel drive, rides and handles like a car, and is back for 5 years or 80,000 kilometers. So even though we showed the competition how, they still didn't get it right. At Chrysler, we just want to be the best.
John Tonelli's 40th of the season from Potvin and Trache at 8:45. And it's 5-4 Islanders. Ken Morrow at his own line to Paul Boudelier. For Bob Nystrom, he gets turned around. Pat Hughes digging for it along the boards. He's halted by Boudelier. LaFontaine hopped away from McClellan. Hughes intercepts the pass. Back to McClellan. In front for Hunter. Loose puck, and Flatley has it for the Islanders. Now to LaFontaine. Fogelman just missed him with a check near center. Kevin Lowe for Dave Hunter. Morrow at his own line. High pass to Flatley. Fogelman in his own zone. To Kevin Lowe with 4 assists in his last couple of games, coming into this one, and has an assist tonight as the puck squirts out of play.
Kevin Lowe on that last goal, Bruce, I think he is so good at blocking shots, but just committed himself way too soon on that 2-on-1. Potvin, a very smart, experienced defenseman, just waited, Lowe out, Lowe went down, and then he took the opportunity to slide that puck across to Tonelli. Lowe has had 4 assists in his last 2 games, and you don't look to Kevin for a lot of offense. It's his defensive abilities that have to carry him.
He told me before the game we're ready to break out of the slide we're in. Right now they trail by a goal. Semenko to Carroll in front. Napier trying to get the shot away. And Trache starts back with Kerr and Henry. 3-on-2 for the Islanders. Here's Henry to Trache. In front for Kerr, and sliding to make a good play was Charlie Huddy. Potvin shot drift wide. Here's Trache, centers it, and it almost went in off Henry. He has it in the corner. Behind the net, Charlie Huddy is there. Trache's had an effective game tonight for the Islanders. He has the puck. Back for Henry off his stick, and Napier comes out with Carroll and Coffey. Napier left it for Coffey, gets around Janssen, right in, she scores! What a play by Paul Coffey.
If that isn't leadership, I don't know what is. Paul Coffey, right from the start of tonight's game, has been sensational as he picks up the drop pass. Look at the way that he maneuvers in around the Islanders and then puts that puck nicely up on the short side. He doesn't have a lot of room here to shoot, but he found the opening and ended up taking Kelly Rudy with him.
Edmonton goal, his
30th goal of the season for Paul Coffey, and second of the night. Bossy in front for Kortko. Bounced off him to Wayne Gretzky. He was hooked. Pinelli keeps it in for the Islanders in front. Bossy let that quick shot go, and the low drive went wide.
Halfway through the game, and we've already had 10 goals here, Bruce.
We didn't expect such a high scoring affair, but it has been entertaining. Kortko. Islanders kept it in momentarily. Now Curry comes out with Gretzky 2-on-2. There's the drop pass for Gretzky. Scored on a slap shot to Krushelnyski, and he fired a wrist shot over top of the net. Here's Gretzky to Randy Gregg. His shot, and a stick save by Rudy. Gretzky and Dineen along the boards. Krushelnyski put it on Kortko's stick, and the Islanders, Janssen has it. To Mike Bossy. Checked by Don Jackson. Randy Gregg to Jari Kurri. Now to Krushelnyski. He's with Gretzky and Jackson. Here's Gretzky. Back to Krushelnyski in front for Kurri, and Bossy did some good back checking. John Tonelli for the Islanders as Kortko was upended by Jackson. Here's Janssen. Back to Tonelli. to Mike Bossy. He drops it back, and Yari Curry has it. Oilers. Curry one-on-one against Morrow with a shot, and a blocker saved by Rudy. He sends it ahead for Bossy. Anderson keeps it in for Messier. And Bossy finally clears it. 7:56 remaining second period, a 5-all tie. Lee Fogelin rolls it in wide of the net. Sutter takes a check from Messier. Boudelier to Anders Keller. Couple of moves in his own zone. Now to Boudelier behind the net. Oilers McClellan bumps into Boudelier behind the net. Anderson couldn't keep it in, and Keller has it. To Dwayne Sutter with Trache. Kevin Lowe played the man well, and Lee Fogelin takes over behind the net. To Anderson for McClellan. He overskated the puck. Keller, his shot hit McClellan. Boudelier keeps it in. Now McClellan has it again to Willie Lidstrom. He's with McClellan to 2-on-3 for the Oilers. Lidstrom going wide on Morrow. Behind the net, couldn't center it. Puck's in the corner. Sutter and Hunter collide. And Morrow for New York. For Brian Trache. He's checked by Coffey at the line. Kevin McClellan takes a hook from Keller. Left it for Charlie Huddy, who falls. Charlie having all kinds of problems. Kevin McClellan to Dave Hunter. He puts it right on LaFontaine's stick at center. Former Verdun star LaFontaine for Flatley. And that was intercepted by Dave Hunter. Or Pat Hughes. He's with Billy Carroll. Here's Carroll. The former Islander takes the shot from a bad angle, and it hits Diddick. Hot man for Nystrom, kept in by Charlie Huddy. His shot goes wide. Diddick. And Carroll got sticks up. Here's LaFontaine to Potman in front, now to Flatley. He couldn't reach it, and it's Paul Coffey in his own zone. Flatley moves in to check Coffey. He has skated miles tonight, and here he goes again with Stemenko and Napier. Coffey turning, hit LaFontaine, and the puck slides down inside the Oilers zone. Fear way out to play it off the board. Nystrom for New York, playing left wing with all the injuries, and the Islanders are offside. You're watching the Oilers on ITV.
Grand opening celebrations are happening now at Happy Honda Center. Celebrate with us the opening of a new experience. Happy Honda Center is the unique and innovative dealership. Check out the best deals on wheels on bikes, trikes, and Honda power equipment. And seek out the totally new concept accessory store. Celebrate now during Happy Honda Center's grand opening, 109th Avenue and Mayfield Road.
Feeling alive, Happy Honda. Feeling alive, Happy Honda.
Well, that man on the left, Kelly Rudy, has been busy in this second period. Oilers have outshot the Islanders 11-1. The Islanders scoring on their only shot by John Tonelli. Oilers have scored 3. It's a 5-all tie with 5:45 remaining in the second period. Thomas Janssen to Mike Bossy, the Lady Bing winner the past 2 seasons, to Roger Kortko. For Tonelli, that's picked off by Gregg. To Curry for Gretzky. Janssen watched by Gretzky. For Tonelli. Kortko has it. Out at center for Bossy, one-on-one against Jackson. Bossy stops. Tonelli for the front of the net. Bossy waiting for Deneen. The shot, and he ripped it. You got a piece of it. Then it bounced to Tonelli, and the puck ends up on the net. The Oilers were fortunate there. John Tonelli right in front, as the Islanders almost had a good scoring chance.
Honey, what's wrong?
Oh, it's this beer. It's just not smooth enough.
He's right. I just can't seem to find him a smooth enough beer.
Yes, that's over, ma'am.
What are you doing in the ironing board place?
I'm here to show you Molson Golden.
Molson Golden?
Molson Golden. The beer brewed for smoother smoothness.
We've finally found a smoother beer.
Thanks to you, darling.
Thanks to you, Molson Golden.
Face off to the left of Grant Fuhrer. Kevin Lowe around the boards for Willie Lidstrom. Now to Messier. He's against Boudelier and Morrow. Messier looking for the drop pass to Anderson. He stops with it along the boards, trying to feed it in front. Trache intercepts. He's with Morrow and Sutter. Brian Trache flipping it in. Mark Messier with the check from Crotche. Messier with a pair of goals on the night. So does Paul Coffey. Wayne Gretzky has scored the other one for the Oilers. Paul Boudelier to Dwayne Sutter on the left side for Caller. Takes a slide from Lindstrom in front for Crotche. Kevin Lowe plays it out for the Oilers. Harold Siddick back in his own zone. Hughes, McClellan, and now Hunter up front for the Oilers. Paul Coffey to Hunter at center. He steals it from Diddick. 2-on-1. Hunter with Hughes. Hunter shoots, scores!
Gerald Diddick made a costly error coming out of his own end zone with possession of the puck. And you can't do that against the Edmonton Oilers. They just took advantage of it. There's where Diddick missed the puck. Hunter's got it. He's got a 2-on-1 here. He winds up and puts that puck right between the legs of Kelly Rudy. Good shot. Here you can see it again.
The assist to number 7, Paul Coffey.
Right in the 5-hole.
Hunter's 15th of the season from Paul Coffey. Used Hughes as a decoy. Here's Hunter again with Hughes. Hughes breaking in. Backhand shot goes wide. Huddy from the point. He gulps it wide of the net. Potvin and Hughes battle for it. Potvin ties it up for a face-off. Dave Hunter has scored for the Oilers, and they have taken the lead 6-5.
To duel with the desert, you'd better be tough as iron. That's why off-road racing champ Ivan Ironman Stewart teamed up with Toyota trucks. Toyota trucks are built with rugged body on full-frame construction to tackle the biggest payloads. Offer electronic fuel injection for power that just won't quit. For two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, work or sport, Toyota builds the trucks that hang tough. The solid choice.
I'm Bruce Buchanan with Gary Green and Tim Spellacy from the Nassau County Coliseum on Long Island. The Oilers have had an outstanding second period, 4 goals, and they lead it 6-5.
Let's remember, folks, that the Islanders were ahead by the score of 4-1 in the first period of play.
Deneen for the Islanders. He was knocked down by Yari Curry. Here's Jackson, a shot. He's looking for a deflection in front from Gretzky. Here's Canelli breaking away for the Islanders against Grace. Backhand shot. A good one. Rebound. Bossy after it. Here is sprawling, but Bossy couldn't direct it towards the net. Deneen shot tipped just wide by Courtco. John Canelli for the Islanders to Courtco. Bossy cruising in the slot. Gray trying to force a face-off. Courtco spins away from him. Behind the net, centers it, and he put it right on Yari Curry's stick. Curry gets away from Canelli and slides it in.
I like that Roger Courtco for the Islanders. Boy, what a digger he is. Got the size to do it, too.
Bossy to Canelli. The slap shot, and sure got a piece of that. Bossy, and again, Courtco tips it just wide. Roger Courtco's come close on a couple of deflections this shift. Here's Yari Curry overstates the puck at center to Gretzky. Out of Curry, leaves it for Kevin Lowe at center. Anderson now on the ice for the Oilers. Here's Curry. Gretzky goes for the net. Curry in front for Gretzky. And it was broken up by Johnson. Anders Kaller for the Islanders. For Sutter, the pass was too high. Lowe and Sutter behind the net. Anderson overskates it. Kaller gets away from Messier, centers it. And it's poked into the corner by Fogelin. Glenn Anderson to Mark Messier. He lost possession at the Islander line. Ken Morrow to Dwayne Sutter. On the left side for Kaller. He was tied up by Willie Lindstrom. Mark Messier ahead to Anderson, 1-on-2. Lindstrom comes up with him now. There's Anderson waiting. To Mark Messier. He tracks it down. Messier to Lindstrom in the corner. Behind the net for Crosby. He left it for Anderson. Boudelier. Down the boards for Bob Nystrom. 1:42 remaining second period. It's 6-5 Oilers. Paul Coffey at center to Kevin McClellan. He tipped it to the Islander line. Morrow to Boudelier. Now to Nystrom. Good move on Kevin McClellan. Then he's checked by Lindstrom, and McClellan has it. Dave Hunter in on the left side with McClellan. He's ridden off the puck by Boudelier. And off LaFontaine with 1:17 left, second period. Flatley on the left side for Nystrom. Charlie Huddy racing. Beats Nystrom to it. Dave Hunter just rolls it out. Potvin at his own line to Pat Flatley. Now to LaFontaine. Over for Nystrom, broken up by Coffey. The Oilers have a 3-on-2. Gretzky with Hughes and Coffey. Hughes was offside.
Well, if you're enjoying this one, make sure you tune in on April the 5th. That's Good Friday when the Calgary Flames are in town to face the Edmonton Oilers. That promises, as always, to be a good one.
Oh, Kevin McClellan had a scrap in that first period. Here he is trying to be a playmaker.
Boudelier doing his job here, just trying to take his man out of the play. One thing that Al Arbour has asked of Boudelier this year when he came back to training camp is play more aggressively in your own end zone. You've got good skills. You can go with it. Try and play your position a little bit better and play it tough in your own end. I think he's done a pretty good job of improving in that area.
Less than a minute to play in this second period. Roger Courteau looking for Bossy in front. It comes to Fuhrer. Puck is loose. Courteau back to Diddick. The shot. And it deflected off Krushelnyski's stick wide. Curry touches it, and the Oilers will draw a penalty for interference in the last minute of the second period.
Somebody put Mike Bossy down on his butt and down fairly hard right in front of the net. And as a result, Edmonton's going to be getting an interference penalty. It was Krushelnyski. You can see he used his stick. In fact, it came up high. He was wrestling with Bossy. Bossy goes down. Krushelnyski goes to the penalty box.
38 seconds in the period. Islanders will have Trottier, Bossy, Tonelli, Potvin, and Johnsson. They'll be trying to tie it up before this period ends.
Important draw here for the Islanders, and who else would be out to take the face-off? None other than Trottier.
Ian Messier, a couple of the best. Potvin in from the point. Takes the shot wide. Johnsson at the other point. Turns away from Billy Carroll. Now to Potvin to Johnsson. Over to John Tonelli. The shot. A stick save by Fury. He'll cover up at the side of his net.
Oilers giving good protection to Fuhrer while they're killing this penalty. They kept the Islanders out of the good scoring positions. Tonelli's not going to be too dangerous from this position. Fuhrer didn't give him much room to shoot at. He was able to make the save and then cover up on his own rebound.
Trottier and Messier on the face-off again to the left of Grant Fuhrer. Trottier goes into the corner after it. Back to Johnsson. Over to Potvin. Rink wide for Bossy. Messier shoots it into the corner. Fogelin winds up, shoots it down the ice with 10 seconds left in the period.
Once again, good job by the Oilers. They set up that good discipline box and just played the pass. Messier cut it off. Good anticipation.
Trottier with 2 seconds to Potvin, and time runs out in the period, and Potvin almost took Fuhrer's head off.
What can you say about this game and what we can look forward to in the third period? Perhaps last shot wins. We have had a real shootout in 2 periods of play, but lots of intensity.
That's for sure. The score after 2 periods is the Oilers 6 and the Islanders 5.
Lots of scoring and lots of excitement tonight at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island. In the second period, scoring for the Oilers was Mark Messier, his 22nd of the year. Wayne Gretzky getting number 67. Paul Coffey also scoring for the Oilers. He got goal number 30 on the season. And Dave Hunter also scoring for the Edmonton Oilers. For Hunter is 15th. Scoring for the New York Islanders in the second period, it was John Tonelli picking up his 40th of the year. The Oilers lead the Islanders by a score of 6-5 with 20 minutes to play. Well, hockey fans across northern Alberta, no doubt, breathing a collective sigh of relief tonight when they learned that Andy Moog was in uniform and backing up Grant Fuhrer. He's my guest this second intermission. And Andy, my first question, are you ready to play? How do the knees, I should say, feel?
Well, the knees feel pretty good. I don't know about the others, but I'm working hard in practice, and things are really coming together the last 4 or 5 days, so I think I'll be ready when they call me.
Any special braces at all?
Yeah, I've got some custom form braces made by Alberta Brace and Limb Company. They put them together last week, and they just give me a lot of support on the outside of my knee in case someone bumps me or I get caught in a funny position. But they're not inhibiting in any way. They just add support.
I know you're out for about 3.5 weeks, and you were kind of frustrated during the recovery process because you didn't really know when the pain was going to go away, when the mobility was going to come back. Were you ever kind of frightened about this injury?
Well, certainly, because the trainers and doctors were telling me I felt I was clinically all right and there wasn't anything seriously wrong, but I just couldn't play, and I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't move in the net. I couldn't do what I'm supposed to do, and I was a little bit concerned. But over the last 4 or 5 days, it's been nothing but positive, and I'll be playing on this trip sometime.
A week and a half left in the regular season. As you mentioned, you'll be playing on this trip. Do you have enough time to get ready for the playoffs?
Oh, certainly. I need one good game. I've kept myself in pretty good shape, being able to ride the bike the whole time I was out, and doing the exercise up at the University of Alberta. And I feel like I'm in better shape now than I was when I got hurt. So it's just a matter of getting in a game and playing it.
Any idea how the Oilers' goaltending will be handled in the playoff? A rotation, perhaps?
I expect that they'll start one guy and let the next guy go the next night. And if somebody gets hot, he'll probably get a few in a row. But I can see him using both of us as long as we're winning and going along pretty good.
Haven't seen a hockey game like this in quite a while. What happened between the first and second periods?
Well, not too much. I think the fellas realized we played a real strong first period, and it was just a matter of them getting the more breaks than us, and we felt good about the period, and it was just a matter of going out and getting the goals, and we certainly got them that period with some great work.
I understand Kevin Lowe had a friend of his that you was hoping you'd say hi to back in Edmonton.
Who's that?
It was Leonard Karpinski, and he's at the Dickinsfield Extended Care Center, and Kevin was hoping that you'd be able to say hi to Leonard and wish him all the best in his recovery.
I will, Leonard. How are you?
Okay, Andy, a bit of a surprise there. We were a little surprised to see you on the bench tonight, but hopefully you'll be ready for the Stanley Cup playoffs.
I think so. I feel strong, and I'm just looking forward to playing.
Okay, thanks very much. Coming up next, we'll have a special report on probably the best junior team in the country, the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. And from the Nassau Coliseum, this is NHL Tuesday Night Hockey. And now the home hardware summary. In the first period tonight at the Nassau Coliseum, we're looking at the second period. Mark Messier put the Oilers behind 4-3. Wayne Gretzky made it a 4-4 tie. John Tonelli to make it 5-4. Paul Coffey and Dave Hunter to make it 6-5.
And the third period is just underway. The Oilers looking for their first ever regular season victory at the Nassau County Coliseum. They have 4 ties, but have never won here during the regular season. Pat Hughes to Dave Hunter. He couldn't keep it onside. He and Trottier battle for it along the board. Hot man. Back for Kelly Rudy. Out at Thomas Janssen. Islanders starting this third period on the power play. 55 seconds in the minor penalty to Krushelnyski. Here's John Tonelli with Mike Bossy. To Trottier at the point across for Bossy, and it's poked away by Pat Hughes. Trottier to Dennis Potvin. Now to Janssen. On the left side for Mike Bossy. He goes in after it against Shearer, and the Oiler netminder will cover up and force a faceoff.
34 seconds remaining on the Islanders' power play, and here's a man that you can't say enough good things about. 8 seasons in the league. In 8 seasons, he has scored 50 or more goals. Now that is consistency, and that is also what you call an all-star player, truly in the sense of the word.
2 premier right wingers in the NHL are here tonight, Mike Bossy and Yari Curry, and both can shoot the puck as hard as anyone. Trottier and Messier. To the right of Pierre Messier having words with the linesman Rossiter, and Wayne Gretzky moves in against Trottier. 34 seconds in the penalty to Krushelnyski. Gretzky winning the face-off from Trottier. Huddy down the boards for Messier, kept in by Janssen. Here it is right in front. Tonelli looking for Bossy, and a nice defensive play by Charlie Huddy.
Huddy just got his stick in the way of that pass, and that's all it took.
Thomas Janssen with 16 seconds in the penalty. Missed Bossy with the pass. Back to get it is Charlie Huddy, and it's icing against the Islanders as Coffey wastes some time. Now touches it, and a good alert move there by the Oilers.
Well, it was as long as they didn't get a delay of the game, but only 6 seconds remaining in the power play. Al Arbour not too pleased, I suppose, at the result of this power play. Not much chance to score with 6 seconds remaining and your face-off back in your own end zone. A lot of speculation and questioning as to whether or not Al Arbour will, in fact, quit coaching this year, and who will be his replacement. Will it be assistant coach Brian Kilray? Kilray moved from the Ottawa 67s in the Ontario Hockey League to come this year to the New York Islanders as Al Arbour's assistant.
I kind of get the feeling it will be his last season behind the bench. What do you think, Eric?
I don't know. He's got a lot of young players, and Al Arbour enjoys the challenge. I wouldn't count him finish this season.
Krushelnyski is back on the ice. Teams are 6 aside. Paul Coffey with the puck. A pair of goals tonight. He has been outstanding. Gretzky hops away from Keller. Shoots. Good save by Rudy. He looked behind him, but had made the pad save. Keller to Dwayne Sutter. He saw his brother Brent in the intermission. His long shot, loved by Grant Pierre, and he leaves it for Charlie Huddy. Now to Yari Curry. Keller tying him up. Portco moving in along with Huddy, and they'll face off in the Oilers zone. Live from Long Island, this is your Molson Hockey Telecast. Bottle the Islanders up. Krushelnyski gets away from Sutter. He was bumped by Ken Morrow. Portco behind his net. Gretzky steals it. Looking for Curry in front. He shoots. And he ripped it just wide. Yari Curry has had a couple of great chances tonight and just missed the net. Randy Gregg to Don Jackson. Now to Curry. To Gretzky, and he just backhands it in. What a chance for Yari Curry.
Well, the pressure's really on Curry to try and break that record of Bossy and get 70 or more goals this season.
Anders Keller's shot goes high over top of the net, but the Islanders were offside. Well, he should have a pretty good chance of getting it. As you look at Grant Pierre, played much better in the second period, although he only faced 4 shots.
Nystrom, who of course got into a fight in the first period, showing much similar ways of playing the game as he's done in his past years. A very feisty right winger for the New York Islanders, finding himself this year on left wing from time to time.
Bob Nystrom, a race to try and keep it in. He couldn't, and it's Flatley at center. He's with LaFontaine and Nystrom. Flatley's shot blocked by Kevin Lowe. And the Oilers shoot it down the ice. Potvin is back to get it. Icing Oilers.
We mentioned Nystrom going across onto the left wing side, and again, it's a reminder that the Islanders really have been totally decimated on that left wing side. So Bob Nystrom has in fact gone from a right winger to a left winger, but the way that Nystrom plays the game with all of his intensity and forechecking, I don't know it matters a great deal. Except in your own end zone when you're trying to take the puck along the boards, it's a little awkward. But from that point onward, Nystrom's game is straight ahead.
Messier and LaFontaine to the left of Grant Pierre. LaFontaine winning the draw. Here's Diddick. The shot deflected by Flatley. Pierre was trying to cover it up. The puck came loose. But referee Bob Hall had whistled it down, and that draws a chorus of boos from a sellout crowd at the Coliseum.
Tough night for goaltenders, Bruce, because at each end, every time there's a shot, there seems to be a number of players in front of the goaltender. Grant Fuhr will attest to that right now. As you can see, the shot coming from the point by Diddick. Now Fuhr makes his commitment by going down and then finds that the puck had not yet arrived. Ends up scooping it up with his pad.
Kevin Lowe behind his net with Nystrom forechecking along with Flatley. Lowe goes down. Nystrom battles for it as he always does. Mark Messier couldn't get out against Flatley. Then Flatley was upended by Messier, and the puck came to center. Fans calling for a penalty. They don't get one as Nystrom golfs it in. Nystrom outside the Oilers zone. Have to wait for Flatley and LaFontaine. Now LaFontaine has it, and he is offside.
LaFontaine, I think, is experiencing some difficulties, trying to do a little bit too much. He's a very talented young player. He has had a bout of mono this year that has left him, I think, a little weaker than he himself believes. He has tried in past games, and I've seen him do it a couple of times tonight, to handle that puck with just one hand on his stick. And I think that he will learn quickly what he can and cannot get away with in the league. Opposition's watching him much closer this year than they did when he first came into the league the latter part of the season last year.
All size is a problem. 175. Born in St. Louis. Pat LaFontaine. Here's John Pinelli. He was checked by Lindstrom. Glenn Anderson, a backhand shot, went off the knee, wide of the net. Lindstrom after it behind it. Ian Dineen gets sticks up. And it's Roger Courteau for the Islanders. With Pinelli and Bossy. Courteau. Hooked by Anderson. Bossy in front to Pinelli. Goes right in the shot. And a save by Grant Fuhr. Pinelli going to his forehand. Seemed to have the open side, but didn't hit it. Here's Courteau to Janssen. The slap shot. And that's blocked by Mark Messier. Oilers are 3-on-2. Lindstrom and Anderson. Here's Lindstrom. Across for Anderson. And a good defensive play by Dineen looking for Pinelli. He couldn't reach the pass. Huddy is back to get it in his own zone. And it's icing against the Islanders. Nearly 5 minutes gone in the third period, and the Oilers cling to a 1-goal lead.
Thanks to you, Canada, Chrysler's recovery is complete. And to thank you for your support, we're staging the greatest sale in Chrysler history with discounts that really mean something. Discounts starting at $400 off, no strings attached. Up to $1,138 off air conditioning packages on cars. Up to $1,781 off Prospector packages on light-duty trucks. You helped Chrysler through difficult times. This is our way of saying thank you, Canada.
Well, you see the 4 Stanley Cup banners hanging here at the Nassau County Coliseum. The Oilers very proud of the banner they raised. Their first regular season game this season, and they're hoping to raise another one. Stanley Cup rematch, and the Oilers have a 6-5 lead. Ken Morrow. Lead pass for LaFontaine, took it nicely off his skates. He's in against Gray. Drops it for Boudelier. Into the corner for Flatland, and nice for these shoots. Good save by Grant Fuhr. On a good play by the Islanders as they set it up nicely. Here's Hughes with Hunter. He just flips it in wide of the Islander goal, and Flatley has it. Played at the University of Wisconsin. Pat Flatley, the 21st overall pick a couple of years ago. Here's Gray. Slammed into the corner by LaFontaine. Hughes to Dave Hunter. He has a goal tonight for the Oilers. Long slap shot hit Ken Morrow's leg, and the Oilers change on the fly. Ken Morrow to Paul Boudelier. He takes the shot wide of the Oiler net. Low off the boards, knocked down there by Sutter, who banned on it, and he's knocked down by Dave Semenko. Trottier and Low in the corner. Trottier trying to force a face-off, and Will to the left of Grant Fuhr.
The Oilers have done a pretty good job after making a major comeback, and this man right here, well, I had questioned about pulling Grant Fuhr in that first period. I guess that's why, Bruce, all of us armchair coaches should just keep our noses out of it. Really, Grant Fuhr has made a good comeback. He didn't have a lot of work in the second period, but watch him. He was hot here. He stood up, he went down, he made his move at the appropriate time on Pinelli, and he made another great save on the Islanders. Right after that, Fuhr has been sharp in this third period of play.
Kevin Lowe had trouble behind his net. Sutter with Keller in the corner. Fogelin beats him to it, and Gretzky comes out with Curry. Gretzky's pass intercepted by Trottier. Dennis Potvin to Gerald Diddick. Now to Potvin. Out at center for Dwayne Sutter. Kevin Lowe takes over for the Oilers. Flips it to Fogelin. He was upended by Dwayne Sutter. There's Fogelin and Sutter having words. The shot by Krushelnyski taken high on the shoulder by Rudy. And that forces another face-off as Trottier and Curry had words.
Mike Krushelnyski getting quickly into the play. Now heading to the bench for a little bit of a rest.
Well, the Buffalo Sabres are trying to mount a comeback at the Colisée tonight. Mike Foligno and Phil Housley have scored in the third period, and it's 4-3 Nordique. The Detroit Red Wings winning a big one tonight over the Minnesota North Stars 5-1. Of course, Detroit trying to hang on to third place in the Norris division. Billy Carroll and Roger Courteau to the right of Kelly Rudy. No scoring in this third period. Coffee shot hit Alan Kerr. Courteau fans on it. Has it again to Janssen. Off the boards for Dale Henry. Charlie Huddy put it on Courteau's stick momentarily. Now Napier has it. Gets around Dineen and then dives at it. Couldn't get the shot toward the goal. Nice move there by Mark Napier. Napier needs just 2 points for 400 in his career. Henry battling for it behind the net. But Mark Napier has it for the Oilers. Paul Coffey coming up again. He has it at center with Carolyn Semenko. Back to Semenko. He shoots. And it hot wide of the Islander net. Portco to Dale Henry. Now to Johnson. His pass went behind Kerr, and the Islanders are offside.
One thing about a hockey club, when you have got some injuries, it gives you an opportunity to look at some of your younger talent. Well, that is the case with the Islanders. As you look at Alan Kerr, who is up from the Springfield Indians in the American Hockey League. He was first in goals and second in scoring with Springfield. Also had 131 minutes in penalties. When I talked to Brian Kilray, the assistant coach, for a long time this morning, he can't say enough about these young kids. Talking about Dale Henry, Alan Kerr, Portco. He said that they want to play and play here badly, and their intensity level is high. They're all good, tough, aggressive Western boys, as Kilray stated.
Had a look at all three of them. All three played in the Western Hockey League. Here's Randy Gregg intercepting a pass, but Anderson was offside. In fact, Portco and Henry were teammates with the Saskatoon Blades. Kerr played with the Seattle Breakers.
Don Jackson teamed up, as usual, with Randy Gregg. I think there's going to be a lot of questions as to Don Jackson's future with this team in the years to come. You cannot help but forget the fact that, as we saw a feature on the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and thinking of a young Bukaboom that is in the Oilers' future, that is going to mean that somebody is going to have to sit out some games or lose their position on the Oiler defense.
Kevin Lowe nearly hit the referee Hall, and of course the Oilers drafted Selmar Odeline from Regina, another defenseman in the first round last year. Here's Bossy. Rink wide to John Pinelli. He can't get anywhere against Fogelin as he plays the man well. Willie Lidstrom loses it to Portco. Ken Morrow to Paul Boudelier. 11:49 left, third period. It's 6-5 Oilers. Bossy is checked by Kevin Lowe, and he scoops it inside the Islanders' zone. Boudelier behind the net with Portco. Looking for Pinelli. Islanders would have had a 2-on-1, but Kevin Lowe gets back. Anderson rolls it to Fogelin. Now to Mark Messier with 2 goals tonight. To Anderson, a shot, and it went over top of the net, bouncing right in front of Pontan. Nice drop pass by Messier to Anderson.
I think Kelly Rudy must feel that some of the Oilers are doing a little head hunting tonight. An awful lot of high shots going around Rudy's ears.
Oilers clear it down the ice, and they are called for icing as the pace begins to slow somewhat from a wild first couple of periods.
We'll talk about some of the younger players for the Islanders. There's another one, Gerald Diddick, who was the first-round draft pick of the Islanders in '83. Big, solid defenseman, 6'2", 195 pounds. And, of course, from Edmonton, Alberta, he played his junior hockey in Lethbridge.
He's paired up with Denny Potvin.
Not a bad way to break into the league.
Not bad at all. 5-time NHL first-team All-Star. Trottier in front for Sutter. Puck is loose. And Deere saw it at the last second with Brian Trottier cruising it.
Dwayne Sutter was in there as well. Trottier and Sutter teamed up tonight. Trottier, I think, getting back into the swing of things. Right off the draw, Trottier banging away at it. He gets it over to Sutter. Dwayne Sutter couldn't quite get good wood on it. Trottier coming in a little bit late. Dwayne Sutter, who has scored 6 goals in his last 6 games. Many people feel around the Island organization. He felt a little bit of extra pressure with Brent being out. He wanted to make up for it.
Oilers have outshot the Islanders 25-20. Here's Potvin at center for Dwayne Sutter. He was checked by Randy Gray. Anders Kaller turning near center ice. He's watched by Gretzky, now gathering speed as he hits the line. Kaller in against Jackson. Stops in the corner looking for Trottier. Sutter right in a shot. And the save by Grant Deere. Here's Trottier in front. He was checked by Gretzky. Potvin with the wrist shot. That was blocked by Jackson. Gerald Diddick, his shot right in front of Trottier. Gretzky falls. Trottier centers it and rolled it right through the crease. Oilers are running around. Trottier back to Dwayne Sutter. To Trottier again. His shot loved by Deere, and he'll hang on as the Islanders put some pressure on the Oilers. They're looking for the equalizer.
Quiet on the set. Okay. Safeway photo department.
Okay, Bill,
take
this
9
is
and
it.
6.
This is the one.
People in the know take their photos to Safeway because they use Kodak paper for the good look. And Safeway offers money-saving coupons on photo finishing. Plus, you can use your coupons to enter Safeway's Groceries for a Year contest. $100 of groceries every week for a whole year. That's $5,200 in groceries. Details at your neighborhood Safeway store.
Nearing the midway mark of the third period, some great pressure by the Islanders as they came close, trailing 6-5. Messier out for the faceoff against LaFontaine. To the left of Grant Fury. Puck loose. Flatley in the corner. Unable to center it against Paul Coffey. Kevin McClellan for Dave Hunter. He just rolls it out.
The Islanders had some momentum going for them, so the Oilers have to slow things down a little bit or else take the attack to the Islanders.
Puck bouncing high in the Islanders zone. LaFontaine checked by Charlie Huddy. Johnson across to Deneen. Out of Flatley. He was tied up effectively by Paul Coffey. There's Johnson to Nystrom. Charging down that left side against Charlie Huddy. Battling for it. Puck is still along the boards. LaFontaine comes up with it. In front to Flatley, and it bounced over his stick. Deneen for the Islanders moving in. Centers it. Went off the stick. Flatley shot right to Fuhrer, and he got a piece of it. Islanders with good pressure in the last couple of minutes. Thomas Johnson back in his own zone. Oilers have made changes now. Messier on the ice with Lindstrom and Anderson, and the Oilers are offside.
The Oilers were fortunate. They bailed themselves out of some trouble in their own end zone. The Islanders, as you look at the bench, really had the pressure on the Oilers for a good minute where they controlled the puck in the Oilers' end zone. Now, as a coach, you can talk to your players until they're blue, until you're blue in the face about running around in your own end zone, something the Oilers were doing on that shift. You've got to play your position, play the body, not the puck, and quit circling, turning off of guys. Take the man.
Boudelier shoots it in. Tried to go in deep, but he was tripped up. Anderson for Mark Messier. With good speed, Rudy trying to beat him to it, and will. Rudy has to be careful there. Messier with those good wheels. Don Tonelli with Portco. Tonelli's shot. That was blocked by Fogelin. Ken Morrow for New York. Overskated it. Anderson comes out with Lindstrom. They're 2-on-2. Anderson fakes the shot. Gets around Potvin looking for Lindstrom in front. Pass didn't get through. It's behind the net. And Mike Bossy sends Tonelli away. Good move on Fogelin at center. Then had his pass intercepted by Glenn Anderson. Anderson back for the Oilers. Gretzky goes to the front of the net. It was centered and picked off by Diddick to Tonelli to Mike Bossy. Portco on the right side. Here's Tonelli. Dropped it for Diddick. He went by the puck, and Anderson starts back with Gretzky. Gretzky in against Potvin. What a move. Backhand shot. Rebound, and he shot it wide. There was some Gretzky magic for you as the puck goes out of play. You're watching the Oilers on ITV.
Grand opening celebrations are happening now at Happy Honda Center. Celebrate with us the opening of a new experience. Happy Honda Center is the unique and innovative dealership. Check out the best deals on wheels on bikes, trikes, and Honda power equipment. And seek out the totally new concept accessory store. Celebrate now during Happy Honda Center's grand opening, 109th Avenue and Mayfield Road.
Feeling alive, Happy Honda. Feeling alive, Happy Honda.
Oh, we saw a terrific move by Wayne Gretzky as he almost gave the Oilers a 7-5 lead, but they continue to hang on to the one-goal lead with 7:57 left in the period, making some ice repairs right now. Here's a look at number 99, a goal and 2 assists tonight, now with 192 points on the season. Like he's headed for another 200-point-plus year. Thomas Johnson on the left side to Trottier. Trying to get it to Keller in the corner. Trottier has it again. Curry checking him. Trottier behind the net. Looking for Sutter in front. Trottier having trouble with it in the Oilers zone. And finally Curry moves it up. Up the boards for Gretzky. It bounces off him. Sedin beats Curry to the puck. Anders Keller off the boards. Krushelnyski tips it back to Craig. Jari Kurri went by him, 7:18 left. In the third period, it's 6-5 Oilers. First game of a 5-game road trip. Johnson to Dwayne Sutter with Keller and Trottier. To Trottier. Centers it. And Keller was too far behind the play. Here's Krushelnyski for the Oilers to Gretzky with Jari Kurri. Gretzky loses possession against Johnson, and it's flipped out by Keller. Charlie Huddy to Paul Coffey. He's with Krushelnyski. Coffey's been outstanding tonight. Takes the shot, and a stick save by Rudy. Here's Gretzky on the prowl. Centers it. Following up a shot, and a good save by Rudy on Willie Lindstrom. Paul Boudelier for New York with Pat Flatley. 4 Oilers were waiting at the line, and the Islanders were offside.
We'll remind you, once again, that if you cannot make it to the game, then make sure that you join us on ITV. Calgary at Edmonton, that's our next telecast here on ITV. Friday, April the 5th, 7:30.
Last meeting of the season between those two teams, regular season that is. The Flames are going to be in a tough playoff battle with Winnipeg, it appears. The Oilers appear destined to play the Los Angeles Kings. But it's not completely decided yet. Dave Hunter to Pat Hughes, and the Oilers are offside.
6:16 remaining in this third period. The Oilers still hanging on by that 1-goal lead. What a tremendous effort, and especially by the key people on this Oilers team. They have given Kelly Rudy some real trouble tonight, especially in the second period. I think of Coffey back in the blue line, Messier, Anderson, and of course Gretzky. Jari Kurri had been a little bit disappointed in tonight.
Ken Morrow to Bob Nystrom. Nystrom to Ken Morrow. 5:58 remaining. Morrow was dunked. There's Dave Hunter with room. Winds up, takes the shot, and he fired it just wide. Charlie Huddy. LaFontaine to Pat Flatley. Back to LaFontaine. He was checked from behind by Pat Hughes, and then a good check by Hughes, who turned 30 yesterday. Here's Paul Coffey. Into Lindstrom. Shoots. Good save by Rudy, and he will cover up. 5:32 left in the third, and the Oilers lead by 1.
Take 539. Action.
Well, look, about Diet Pepsi Free.
Wrong!
It seems my previous explanation wasn't quite as clear as we might have wished. Pepsi says the fact that I'm being paid isn't relevant and I shouldn't waste good screen time on it, so... Okay. Now, Diet-free Pepsi. No, Diet Pepsi Free. Still has that spiffing Pepsi taste without caffeine or sugar or, mentioning I'm being paid. God, sorry! Good for me otherwise, I thought.
Mark Messier, Glenn Anderson, and Willie Lindstrom up front for the Oilers for the face-off to the right of Rudy, and they've played a lot tonight, especially Messier and Anderson.
And they played well.
Kevin Lowe's shot is gloved by Rudy. He hangs on for another face-off to his right.
Kevin Lowe, one of the premier shot blockers in the NHL. Not something that a lot of players really like to do an awful lot. There you can see Quebec in a final, holding on to a 4-3 win over the Buffalo Sabres, and the Quebec Nordiques are hot.
They're in first place. Montreal could catch them. They hang on against Boston. Portko to Diddick, who shoots it in. Time becoming a factor for the Islanders. 11 goals through the first 2 periods, but there has not been any scoring in the third. Anderson off the boards for Messier. He shoots it inside the Islanders zone, and Potvin has it. His pass bounces off Lindstrom just wide of the net. John Tonelli. Pucks out at center to Kevin Lowe. Now to Mark Messier. Less than 5 minutes to play third period. Messier rolling it in. Potvin to Roger Portko with Tonelli and Bossy. Portko trying to roll it through Lowe's legs, and Anderson takes over. Wasting some time near center, now brings it across the line. Backhand shot over top of the net. Good play by Glenn Anderson. Trache falls against Gretzky. Lidstrom looking for Anderson in front. Trache still hanging on to Gretzky's stick. Thomas Johnson for the Islanders skates away from Gretzky. Johnson across the line against Jackson. In for Dwayne Sutter. It's cleared by Randy Gregg. Johnson kept it in. Trache flipped it in on the backhand right to Fuhrer, and he will hang on with 4:04 left. Well, the Montreal Canadiens beat the Boston Bruins 5-3, and the two Quebec teams in the NHL are tied for first in the Adams division.
Montreal and Quebec have been playing well, but the Buffalo Sabres have been in a real mini slump and not at the best of times during the season.
Here it's the Oilers 6 and the Islanders 5 with 4:04 left. Face off to the left of Grant Fuhrer. There's big Mike Krushelnyski back on the left side with Gretzky and Curry. Krushelnyski, there was talk he'd score 50 this season. He's kind of gone a little sour as of late and has 39 goals, but still an excellent year for Mike Krushelnyski.
I was a little pondering upon why Trache had not been put back with Bossy. We mentioned to you earlier in this game that Trache, coming into tonight, had only scored 1 goal in 15 games and yet had not been teamed up with Mike Bossy. Now that really puzzled me because usually you would think that Trache would get going if he was back with Bossy, but that was not the case. Al Arbour decided to leave Trache with other line mates and make him work his way.
Here's Thomas Johnson for the Islanders. Deneen, he plays it off the boards, and Krushelnyski has it for the Oilers. Ahead for Gretzky. Wayne Sutter for the Islanders with 3:42 left. Gretzky takes it off his stick. Curry is trailing. Gretzky back for Krushelnyski. Shoots. Rudy the save. As Gretzky creates another good opportunity. Here's Trache for the Islanders. In against Gregg. Still has it. And lost it. Morrow keeps it in. His shot deflected wide by Sutter. And then his pass went behind Trache. Orders Gretzky with Curry on the left side. Gretzky turning near the line. In to the corner to Paul Coffey. Krushelnyski in front of the net. Coffey centers it. Here's Curry waiting at the point. In behind the net for Krushelnyski. He was tied up by Boudelier. Came in front to Keller. And he just scoops it to the order line. Islanders making changes with 2:55 left. Kevin McClellan. A good move on Morrow. Shoots and it went off the shoulder of Kelly Rudy. Nice play by Kevin McClellan. Here's Pat LaFontaine with Nystrom and Flatley. LaFontaine still has it. Shoots! A glove save by Fuhrer. And he hangs on to it. And you can see right from where we're sitting that it's a good 2 feet away from that red line. 2:39 left in the third period, and the Oilers have a 1-goal lead.
To duel with the desert, you'd better be tough as iron. That's why off-road racing champ Ivan Ironman Stewart teamed up with Toyota trucks. Toyota trucks are built with rugged body-on full-frame construction to tackle the biggest payloads. Offer electronic fuel injection for power that just won't quit. For 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, work or sport, Toyota builds the trucks that hang tough. The solid choice.
Oilers starting a 5-game road trip in Long Island tonight, and they're hoping to hang on with 2:39 remaining.
Fuhrer has continued to make some great saves in this third period. This one on LaFontaine. Now watch, he falls back into the net, but he held that puck out over the goal line. Fuhrer has indeed warranted staying in the nets after those 2 bad goals in the first.
Dave Hunter shoots it in wide of the net. Hughes and Potvin behind it. And Gerald Diddick starts out for the Islanders. To Flatley. Now to LaFontaine. Stops against Hunter. Now across to Diddick. Nystrom in front looking for the deflection, and the shot went wide. Flatley in front for Nystrom. LaFontaine was knocked down. Coffey behind his net. 2:06 left in the third period. Honeydew, Pat Hughes. Oilers leading 6-5. Kevin McClellan off his stick. The puck stayed in play because of the high glass here at the Coliseum. LaFontaine, a shot deflected just wide. Lowe tying up Nystrom at the side of the net. Lee Fogelin up the boards for Lidstrom. Boudelier kept it in. Nystrom behind the net. He and Kevin Lowe fight for it. And here's Mark Messier. He's had a strong game for the Oilers. With Anderson and Lindstrom. Messier just shoots it in. Kelly Rudy leaving it for Ken Morrill. 1.5 minutes remaining, third period, and it's 6-5 Oilers. Kevin Lowe watched by Trottier. Now to Glenn Anderson. He runs into Boudelier at center. Mike Bossy for John Tonelli. Trottier now out at center with Bossy and Tonelli. Here's Kevin Lowe for the Oilers. On the left side to Anderson. 1:11 left, third period. Anderson gets around Tonelli. Good speed around Boudelier. He was upended. No penalty with little time remaining.
Last minute of play in the period.
Kevin Lowe at center ice. Less than a minute to play. Here's Anderson. He scoops it in high, and it's a souvenir for the crowd. Almost stayed in play.
The Islanders will be looking to try and get their goaltender out. Al Arbour, you can see him signaling a timeout right here. An opportunity to get his best players rested and to get reorganized and to tell Kelly Rudy when he wants him out of the net. That faceoff just outside the Islander blue. But Rudy will definitely be coming out of the net. That is, if the Islanders can get the puck out of their own zone.
Now Rudy's made some key stops in the third period for the Islanders. They keep them in it. Oilers leading 6-5 as Al Arbour discusses strategy with the Islanders.
I noticed just in that last shift that Al Arbour had reunited Tonelli, Trottier, and Bossy. Whether or not we will see that line combination remain out on the ice, you would expect it anyway.
Glenn Sather happy with the comeback by his hockey club tonight.
I'm glad for Sather, and I hope in a way that he can pull out this win because they start this long road stretch. And I started to say in the first period that Glenn had expressed some unhappiness, as well he should, with some of the way that I think Edmonton fans have thought about the Oilers over the course of the last couple of weeks. Believe me, any team in this league would love to see this team, the Edmonton Oilers, play in their own building for 40 games a year. And with Wayne Gretzky and the likes, you are bound to have a slump during the course of the season, especially when you've had such an enormous lead in first place.
Well, the Islanders were famous for it, and they won 4 straight Stanley Cups, so you're right.
Bruce, every single year they would go into their slump for a couple of weeks, and you know, it's not such a bad thing. It makes you realize you are not unbeatable.
Tonelli, Trottier, Bossy, Janssen, and Potvin. Rudy look to the bench, but the Oilers have possession, and Lowe gets it to Hunter. So Rudy has to stay between the pipes, and the Oilers are offside. Oilers trying to catch the Philadelphia Flyers for first overall. Philadelphia has overtaken them by a point, and this was the Oilers' game at hand tonight.
Rudy circling around, looking still to try and get out of the nets. 40 seconds remaining. The face-off in the same situation as it was in the last stoppage of play, just the opposite side of the ice surface. Trottier taking the draw, and he's trying to pull it back to Potvin.
40 seconds, the time remaining as Trottier wins the face-off. He did pull it back to Potvin, but he had to go back behind his net to get it. Lee Fogelin near center. Islanders having trouble gaining possession. It's flipped in by Fogelin on a nice play. Here's Johnson to Potvin with 24 seconds. Islanders have to get to the other end. They're not going to do it. Here's Fogelin moving in. Shoots, saved by Rudy, and he'll hang on with Gretzky coming from behind the net.
Good pressure. Good pressure by the Oilers. That's the best way to protect defensively your one-goal lead. Don't let the Islanders get out of their own end. Keep that puck down there regardless of how many faceoffs you have to take. And with 16 seconds remaining, it's highly impossible that the Oilers are going to lose this one.
Islanders and Oilers both standing at their bench, but you can see the excitement on the Oilers bench. They wanted this game tonight, starting that 5-game road trip, and they have played well, and I think deserve to be in the lead. Trottier and Gretzky on the face-off to the left of Rudy. Gretzky wins it to Fogelin. He takes it back to center, waiting. Now he shoots it back in, delayed offside against the Oilers, and it's whistled down by the linesman Will Norris.
This just remains to be agony for the New York Islanders. Taking a long time to play the last 30 seconds. Kelly Rudy is finally leaving, but with 10 seconds to go and a face-off in the middle of the ice, you're not going to be able to accomplish too much.
Well, I'm sure the Oilers coaching staff will be delighted with the way the team has shut down the Islanders in this third period.
The only thing that they can do right here, and you will see Trottier, he's a left-handed shot. He's going to try and push that puck, I'm sure, right into the zone, but he doesn't do it.
Gretzky pushed it into the Islanders zone instead. Potvin back to get it with 4 seconds. Here's Curry with an open net, scores! And there it is. Yari Curry, 69th goal to tie Mike Bossy's record, and what a way to get it.
That's got to be a tremendous amount of pressure off of Yari Curry's shoulders. Tying that record and doing it right here in the Nassau Coliseum. Got to feel good.
From the season, scored by number 17, Yari Curry.
69th goal of the year for Yari Curry.
Curry, 69th of the year, unassisted at 19:59.
Puck is dropped, and that ends the hockey game as the Oilers win their first ever regular season game at the Nassau County Coliseum, 7-5. In a moment, we'll have the Molson Cup 3 stars.
Tonight at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, the Oilers come from behind to defeat the New York Islanders. And now the Molson Cup 3 stars. The first star, Oilers defenseman Paul Coffey. He had 2 goals tonight. The second star, also from the Edmonton Oilers, number 11, Mark Messier. He also had 2 goals. The third star, Islanders defenseman Dennis Potvin. The Molson Cup standings for Edmonton: Wayne Gretzky on top, 160 points. Yari Curry, 80 points. Anderson and Coffey now with 70 points each. Mike Krushelnyski with 50 points. Well, late in the first period, the Oilers were down 4-1. Looked like it was over. Perhaps their most impressive comeback of the season. You have to give a lot of credit to the offense. Also, a lot of credit to Grant Fuhr, who had a shaky start, but was very solid in the third period. Some notable saves off Brian Trottier and John Tonelli. For the first time ever in a regular season game, the Oilers have won on Long Island. Once again, the final score tonight at the Nassau Coliseum: the Edmonton Oilers 6, the New York Islanders 5. Our Molson Hockey telecast returns in just a moment.